Hi everyone, welcome back to the rebuild of YGO20B. This is episode 2. In the first one we were talking about how we were looking at getting new parts that I ordered from Japan, and they were going to take a little while. Well, they've come now, so we'll just show you what they look like. So these are all NOS Mazda items. So that's a new lens, and you can clearly see that looks much nicer than the one that's in there, so it will look like new. That's the idea of it. Let's make this car look as good as we can. And then I think we have, this is the it's what the light shines through. It's like when you put your parker lights on, so that looks mint. So that is going to fit in there like so, but it'll obviously go further in. And again, we're just going to bring up the look of the car, make it look all nice and new. So we've got them. That's one thing off the list. So we'll just keep them in their boxes until we've fully done with working on the car and cleaning it and polishing it, because we want to bring it all up nice, and then we'll put them in so they won't be in and out 20 times and getting damaged or scratched. So we just want to keep them fresh. So those parts have come. This week we've been working on the seats because I have them, and I just wanted to get, because they're a big thing, they just take up a lot of space, and right now I'm pressed for space. I need to have a big cleanup. After pulling everything out for the car and trying to find things, and I still need to pull more things out, I'm just out of floor space. I'm out of room to move. And yeah, so right now, if I can get them into the car, they're out of the way, and then it just gives us a little bit more inspiration of how it's going to start looking. So I'll show you what we did. I actually had these seats from their pack kit that you can buy them from their website to suit any of the range of rotaries. I have them for my Rx7, and I put them in the car, and they're nice, they're comfortable, and I love them, but I think they're a little bit more suited to this car. So the old seats will go back into the Rx7, and these ones will make their way into this car. So I'll show you the difference of those. Alright, so this seat here is a Sparko seat, which is exactly like the type that was in the car when it was racing and it was in the magazine. I actually did come across the original seats from the car. They were on Marketplace. I sent the guy a message and I just didn't hear back, and they've disappeared. So someone's bought them. Oh well, we'll move on. These are the new seats, new Recaro CS I believe they are. So there's a few differences between them, and the height being one of them. So this is sitting at least 2 inches or so higher, and then your base, you're sitting up higher than what you are in this one. So it makes a big difference in this car, being a coupe or sports car, if that. You're sitting high, and you really need to sit low. In standard form, the standard seats were a weird configuration where the rails were made to fit in the car, and the seats were built around the tunnel and that to get them to sit as low as they could. So you need the headroom. That's the issue. But as you can see, this cloth seat on this Sparko is all sagging because after time the foam just disappears, it just crumbles away, and some of the cloth trim inside the car is the same. So after we get it all up and running and sorted, we might look at redoing those pieces, whether we change the color of the trim or to either black to suit this seat, or we retrim this seat and the rest of it back into a new grey. Comment what you think would look better. I'm partial to both. I like the original look of the car, but once you see these in there, they do look really nice. So yeah, I'll show you what we've done with the seat mounts and rails and how we're getting them to go in the car. So when I bought the seats, they came as a kit. They were made to suit Rx7. This is what we got. This is from Pack. So they have their angle bar welded between these universal rails, so they bolt in the Rx7 seat position, and there was a stud that was there and there, but I removed them. So I'm going to make these fit the car, or the car fit the rails more like, sorry, because these are already working, so that way I can even take these back out and put them into the other car if I need to or choose to. There's a spring that goes there, so they go on there and hold back, so that's what retracts. So that keeps the tension on the locking in mechanisms. Alright, so because the car's been modified and the standard seat mounts have been modified, and we have to change them to make the seat fit the car, so this is why we're doing this. We're not mucking around with this. We're making an adapter that will be eventually welded into the car, but this will bolt to this. So this is what we have, and it was made out of 5mm plate, or flat bar, sorry, 50mm wide, and I got tigged. This is what it looks like after it's just been tigged and made, and we've got M8 bolts. And this was done for me by Gary at Lagged Racing Fabrication. We'll put a shout out to them on Facebook if you ever need anything done. They're good guys to work with, and you can reach them through Facebook. Yeah, so we've welded them up. We've just lineaged this edge because we need that radius to be clear on the inside of the RHS, that's, oh sorry, whatever it is, the angle bar that's on the inside there. So then this is one that's been just lineaged up, just to get some of that crud off, that stuff. And I've just done a little divot there because there's a little TIG weld on the inside here that's holding that bar to that. So instead of removing it from that to weaken that, we're just taking a bit out of this, just helps it recess down into it. So then we've cleaned them up and primed them. So then this one, you can see it's just got an etch primer in there. It looks a bit cleaner. So when we get in the car, we'll figure out where it's going to be welded. We'll clean that part back, put some weld through prime, and then we'll weld them into the car. So that's what that one's ready to go, and that's for the driver's seat. So I'll get that on and I'll show you what it's going to look like. And this being the driver's seat, so I'll get that bolted on now and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the cabin of the car. I've taken the carpet out, we've peeled the carpet back here. There's a bit of foam put in to build it out so it looked nicer and didn't follow the contours. It's had plates, I don't know if you can see, there's plates welded where the floor's been modified, bashed up sections where they've had the clearance for gearbox or exhaust or something. And then this happens in almost every 90s car. You've got unnecessary holes everywhere, and you wouldn't see this, and you only know about it when you smell exhaust fumes or water comes in through the car. And we're trying to preserve this car and make it better than what it was. Not to say it was bad, but times have changed and we just want to make it a nicer car to be in. So I'm gonna have to weld them up, not right now, but it's something that we've discovered. I want to clean off all the old glue. I just wiped a few sections, like all this old sound deadening. We're going to re-sound deaden it. So the floor is a weird shape as well. So getting the seat down as low as I want it to go is also affected by this, because the chassis rail runs through here. So it's a real odd shape. They were really fighting for space in this car. This had mounts, like studs welded there, which I've ground off. And with this, the way it was, this was just a little template. I bent this bit of aluminium to get an idea. And with that, the seat was sitting too high and you're touching the cage almost with the seat when it's in forward motion, like to lean it forward because it swings forward. So what I've done is took about 15 mil out there and there. So now we've lowered it down, and that's almost as close to the floor as possible. Like that's like really right there. There's no, maybe 5 mil in that. So it's hard to see on camera, but that's what it is. And I've got this piece that's going to then get welded in there, and this piece, which I'll drill some holes on the side, and then that fits in like that. Then it'll get welded all around also. And the shape of that was curved. So what I've done is, once I've gotten that in, I've hammered the edge over, to make it as close to, so once that's in and welded, the new piece, so I'm just showing you this one because the seat's all bolted together, that's going to go on. I'll put the nut there, and there's only one nut here and one nut there is where the seat mounts. So it's, like I said, it's in an odd spot. They've obviously welded plates in for those studs there and there. We're going to utilize those spots, but that's going to go on there. So the nuts hanging out the bolts hanging out the end too far, but it's basically going to be then welded to that, which is thicker than what's standard, welded there, and then welded along the front. It's not in the exact position where it's going to be, but just to show you, that's go there and then weld it along there onto the original brace. So that'll be fixed there, and it'll be fixed there. It's just not sitting back where it needs to be because of that bolt. But yeah, that'll be much stronger, and then it's supporting it from there to there and there also. It's got to be just trimmed on the side there, which the other one actually is, to clearance the floor. So then it'll sit that little bit lower. It doesn't seem like much, but it make a big difference, because then it's just one thing higher, 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 because we still have to mount off that. And where that lines up, as you can see, is past where that one was. So them out of the picture, that's the new way. And this car had harnesses, and that is the harness mount, utilizing the seatbelt mount. So I need to look at getting harnesses. Another reason why we need to get this in. These are welded in sections to get rid of the back seat. So they're like a pod area. You can't really see, there's not much light. The batteries were mounted in there and whatnot. So we're going to go through all that as well. And yeah, that's how we've decided to do it. I'll chuck the seat in and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so that's the seat in the car in its position. It's a very snug fit in here. It's hard to see, but where we've notched that, it's sitting within there. One anchor mount for harness, other side protrudes into the seat, so I'm going to have to move that. And obviously it's not welded in yet, but if you can see, it will be welded there and there. It's still got a bit of play in it at the moment. And if we didn't remove that foam and the carpet, so which we'll have to, it's very tight. I can't get in there, sorry, but to show you, but it's tight along the fixtures of the seat. So what I wanted to show you was this, and that's the roof lining I was trying to say to you, the foam sort of going. But yeah, okay, so cage, seat. Now this is the reclining. So that is a finger through there, through there. That's what we were trying to achieve, that movement. Before, it could only go, and it was hitting there, and even if we could squeeze it past, it was maxing out there. Not that it's going to go much more forward, no need, but it's more so access when you need to get your hands under the seat to bolt in, or if we mount anything back here, or just need to get into those compartments. So that's the seat in the car. So I'll get it welded in, or I've still got to mount the other side, and we'll get them sorted, but it's made now. It's one more thing closer to being finished. So it looks good in the end. The black actually looks nice against the blue. So do I do the grey, or do I do it black? That's the door trim. So that's the best part of the car, being it doesn't need doing, but that's the Mazda elephant scrotum texture that's been painted grey, and it's dirty. But that bit there was like that. It'll just clean up. So if I do retrim it, this will be changing, but I still like the idea of having the blue inserts to tie it in. So I'll just show you how I fit in the car. Alright, so this is my seating position. I'm clear, the roll cage is close, but this is as far as where we can get. We're down as low as we can get. It clears, the seat clears the bar, and it's comfy. Hands on the wheel, driving position. The only issue is going to be the pedals. It's a bit tight. It might be hard to see, but between the cage and that, so modifying that pedal later on and possibly spacing them out just so I have no fouling of the feet. So this is it. This is the look. Just comment, tell me what you think. The black, or do we do grey, redo the grey? I'm uncertain at the moment. I do like this, but right now, for the purpose of the car getting on the road, running, the seat staying, I'm not going to retrim it. It's brand new right now anyway, but when we're ready, we'll work it out. So it's coming along. So I'll show you what I've got planned motor wise, so for those of you who have hung around. Alright guys, this is it. YGO20B is going 20B. Why, you say? Why not? So we're still sticking with the plates, and that's our reasoning. 3-rotor, it's a low kilometer D block which I bought off a friend. I've had it for quite some time, sitting here waiting, anticipating in the moment that it would be going into the Rx7. We've stripped off all the rat's nest, which is a whole bunch of pollution gear that's all under the manifold here. It's a mess. We don't need it. And all the twin turbo setup, which was a car setup which was quite bulky, was here. Removed it and just got this plate cut as a block off plate, just so nothing goes in the motor as it sits. Gary from Lag Racing Fabrication made me that. So because we're getting an exhaust manifold flange that they're making for us, so we can make the turbo manifold. These are just some mounts that I was modifying it when I was mounting this motor into a Tirana, but that's not happening anymore. It's going into the FC. So these have come off. I've got some other mounts we're going to utilize. This is the stock 20B mounting position, these 3 bolts on both sides, and that will mount the same position as the Rx7 was mounted with the 13B. Older motors, and when people do conversions, change the front timing cover to the older type, and they've got a mounting with 4 bolts along the front there, so we don't need that. We're just going to run it this way. I've got a gearbox. It's going to be a temporary gearbox, again, just to get the car running. It's a Series 8 Rx7 5-speed. It'll do the job. It will take X amount of power, but again, just to get it running, get it moving, get it sorted, it'll be that, and then we can figure out how big and how wild we're going to go with it all. So thanks for sticking around. This will be in the car hopefully very soon. We're just taking things as they come, doing bit by bit, and just working with what we got. So thanks guys, please like, subscribe and share the content. It really helps us and motivates us and keeps us going. The last video got a lot of positive feedback and we're quite thrilled with that. So thanks again and keep watching.